Guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over an article titled The Truth About Dating as a Curvier Woman. And guys, this is an article written by a woman that's pretty much complaining and playing the victim card here that about that guys don't want her because obviously she's a curvier woman. And when I say curvier, that is the politically correct term that she chose to use in the title. The reality is it's far away from curvy. We're talking about big girl, okay? And she's basically playing the victim card here that because she's obviously a big girl, curvy as she says, that guys just see her. Guys that actually are interested in her are just interested in a quick hookup, but they certainly aren't interested in dating or getting into a relationship with her. And she goes through this whole thing telling her story from when she was young, high school and all that, into college, and basically pretty much like how things are today, is now posting an article online and looking for a lot of attention, a lot of pity, so people can pretty much tell her that, hey, you're great the way you are, you should love yourself the way you are, and some guy's going to find you one day and love you for that, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, not really saying the obvious that if you are that much overweight, which she is, obviously, because you're going to, connect the dots here, that's extremely unhealthy, Diabetes, heart disease, many other health problems, but in today's warped society, they're making it out to be that's a good thing, right? And so it's crazy. But so I'm going to go through this article, guys. You're going to see yet another situation of someone playing the victim card, complaining, and making guys to be the villains because we're not into women like that. It's crazy. And by the way, a big shout out to Wade for sending me this article. And by the way, guys, if you guys ever come across a great article or story you'd like me to share, by all means, email it to me, okay? And if it definitely works, I'll definitely use it and give you guys a shout out, okay? So it starts off, I've always struggled with my weight. Growing up, I was always bigger, and even when I was a size 8, I still seemed to weigh more than everyone else around me. Although I was extremely self-conscious, it didn't hold me back from making friends. It did, however, hold me back from dating. And that wasn't always by choice. When I was in the 7th and 8th grade and the other girls were being called pretty, I was hardly acknowledged as anything other than the funny friend. It's amazing to me that a lot of times female comedians happen to be overweight because they learn at an early age that, unfortunately, if you have a child that's overweight, that's not so much the child's fault. That's the parent's fault. That's the parent's fault for obviously giving them bad food and all that. Okay, that's on the parents. But as they become an adult, that's on them. Okay? And it's interesting how a lot of times these girls, when they're young, they become the comedian because that's the only way they're going to get attention. But the reality is, funny girls aren't sexy. But as a girl gets older, in today's world, there's so much knowledge out there about nutrition and diet and exercise that pretty much anybody, regardless how overweight they are, can make a difference. But they got to be willing to make the effort. They got to make the sacrifices and work hard to do it. It can be done. But most people in today's world, they're lazy. We're in an instant gratification society, so they want to have, an instant fix to the problem. And if not, they're not going to work for it and complain about it. Anyhow, going on here, I told myself that when I got to high school and around new faces that I would attempt to try harder, which at that time meant applying makeup and losing weight, so that I could finally get a boyfriend. I thought that was the one thing that would finally make me happy. So she knew what she had to do, lose the weight, put on some makeup, being a little more feminine, being more physically attractive, and it would help her out. And guess what? She does it, and it does help her out for a little while. I dated a bit in high school and plenty in college. It was around that time that the curvier body type was starting to become more popular. It got to the point where if I wanted someone, I could get them, and that shot my confidence to a place it had never been before. So yeah, the whole curvier thing really got popular, I guess, about 10 to 15 years ago, definitely in the last 10 years. So in the past, it was all these stick figure girls that were the models for Victoria's Secret and all that, which, in my opinion, those types of models that looked like their diet consisted of coffee and cigarettes, I was completely turned off by that, But for me personally, guys, I'm attracted to very fit, in-shape women that work out at the gym and all that. I'm not talking about muscle-bound women, but just fit girls. However, I am attracted to girls with some curves, okay? And I want to emphasize some, okay? She's got a little ass, a little extra booty there. That's what I'm attracted to. But there's a world difference between having some curves and her looking like she ate Melissa McCarthy, okay? 9-day difference here. And what we're dealing with now is you got a lot that are really huge, and they think that's curves. That's not curves. Now, there are guys, actually, there's some guys that are attracted to women like that, and a lot of guys, whether they want to admit it or not, have hooked up with or fooled around with, BBW girls, big, beautiful women. But they're not the types that actually want to be seen with, going out on dates with. And she's going to fall into this situation real quick, as you're going to see. She says here, oh, and by the way, notice how she mentioned that she didn't have a problem getting guys. How many times have I told you guys that it's so much more easier for women to get guys and hook up than the other way around? If a girl's remotely good looking, she could be overweight, but if she has a pretty face, she can get guys, or at least get hookups. Okay, there's a big difference there. Once I got in my first long-term relationship, my sophomore year, I got really comfortable and both of us started to gain weight. When we broke up senior year, I was the heaviest I'd ever been at that time. I lost about 90 pounds after that breakup, but that's when my real struggles with dating began. So, how many times have I told you guys about the whole stereotype about getting into relationships or moving in with your girlfriend or getting married where the couple becomes comfortable with each other and both parties, the man and the woman, they can put on a bunch of weight because they figure whether they realize they're doing it consciously or most of the times it's subconscious, that, hey, I don't got to do anything because he or she isn't going anywhere. You want to talk about so unhealthy. The reality is you got two people together that will try to keep each other very healthy and looking good. I just never got that. It's crazy, but she said it right here. She lost 90 pounds after the breakup, and that's where her true struggles began. 90 pounds. That goes to show how much weight she gained during that relationship. Men looked at me not because they thought I was pretty, funny, or smart, but because I was overweight and they thought I was a sex object. Even though I was smaller than I had been after my weight loss, I was still bigger than some of my friends, and I constantly compared myself to them. Men were attracted to me, but didn't want to date me. I was their best kept secret. I know that I'm beautiful, and I can say that now because I've generally learned to love myself, but I knew men didn't want to tell people about me because they didn't want anyone to know that they were attracted to someone my size. What'd I tell you? You can get plenty of guys that will hook up with women like this that are overweight, but they're not going to date them or let alone be seen with them, okay? And if they do go on a date, it's going to be in the next town over. And it's going to be in this very dark restaurant or dark bar, and they're going to be in the back there with sunglasses on and a hat on in disguise so that, none of their friends or other women they like see it happen. I know I'm sounding like an asshole here, but this is how it is. So it's always best to take action, lose that weight, get yourself healthy. And again, you're going to get more and more of the violin going here about this whole thing, but she lost 90 pounds before. That's awesome. Good for her. So if she's still overweight, guess what? She can do more. She did it. She can do it again. The problem is that many men fetishize bigger women. I've had guys tell me they like bigger girls because they are better in bed. And when I was trying really hard to get men to pay attention to me, I really thought that was an okay thing for them to say to me, which I know now is it absolutely wasn't. It made me really resent my body and feel immensely insecure to know that men looked at me not because they thought I was pretty, funny, or smart, but because I was overweight and they thought I was a sex object. Well, here's the ugly truth. All men are going to be looking at other women just like that, okay? And for any guys on here that says that's not true, you are full of crap, okay? That is the ugly truth. I'm going to say here, people may not like it, but men are always going to look at women that way, whether they're skinny, medium-sized, big, whatever. Their mind is always going to be in the gutter. It starts when you're probably about 9, 10, 11 years old, and that's going to go to the day we die. That's how we are. We're pigs. I watched men I had flings with start real relationships with new women who were smaller than me, which convinced me that no one would ever want me because of my weight. As a result, I started to slip into deeper depression, which caused me to gain more weight. It's what I knew how to do. I guess she was feeling bummed. I guess she was depressed and sad, but that's no excuse to let yourself go. Okay? If obviously she knew that she didn't have a chance with these guys getting relationships, it's either feel sorry for yourself or take action and do something about it. She obviously has done it before. And if that means, and I know if somebody gains a lot of weight, it's obviously in the beginning a lot easier to lose the weight initially because it's, a lot more. But as you lose weight, it's the final pounds that are the hardest to lose. So that's the time when it's smart to invest in a registered dietitian helping you out. These different weight watching type of apps that help women out. That's really big. Helped a lot of people out that I know, some clients. And of course, a personal trainer so you can put the working out, the weightlifting, and the diet in and get where you want to be. It can be done. I've known women that have had multiple children, that work a full-time job, that run the house, all that stuff, and gained a lot of weight after the kids, and still managed to lose the weight and get themselves looking damn good for their age, damn good for having kids. So it is possible. Okay? But you can't just sit back and feel sorry for yourself. I don't buy that. I don't accept that, okay? As a personal trainer, I'm willing to work my tail off to help my clients. I will bend over backwards to help them out. But if all they're going to do is complain and they're not going to listen to me, I can't feel bad for that. I really can't. I've had clients over the years where they'd work out with me 2 or 3 times a week, and I'd work them hard and do my job. But then I find out that back at home, they're still eating like crap. They're still drinking lots of alcohol, lots of sugar drinks, these 500, 600, 1,000 calorie drinks from Dunkin' Donuts or McDonald's, eating like crap, and they wonder why they don't lose any weight. Okay? You got to take personal responsibility. It can be done. But most people, their food and drink is their outlet for stress. And it's something they learn very young. And it's unfortunate, but we're all adults. You got to take responsibility for your own actions. No pity parties here on this channel. When I eventually started to get back on dating apps, I uploaded recent photos of myself, but still worried that guys would see me and think that I didn't look like in my pictures. But I still tried to put myself out there. I went on a date with a medical student a few years ago, and I was so excited because I thought, this is it. I'm going to be with a doctor. It's one date, honey. When I got to the restaurant, he seemed pretty uninterested. I ordered a meal, and he said, I was just going to get a salad. The date was super uncomfortable, and he ghosted me right after. Okay, then one should look at that situation and say, what is it? Is it possible that it wasn't just him who was a jerk? Is there something that I'm doing wrong that's causing the problem? Not just with him, but many other guys. That would make sense. Unfortunately, it's far easier to just assign blame at everybody else than yourself, because we're in that society now where people they want a pity party, they'll play the victim, and there's always going to get some people that's going to give them pity and say it's not them, it's not you, it's them, and just keep doing what you're doing and let them love you for you. Well, how does that work out in the end? She continues, I went on 2 more dates with guys who definitely weighed less than me, and I found myself feeling guilty. I worry that if I started dating someone small or fit, people would criticize me. Why is he with her? So I made the decision to not pursue them. Flash forward 2 years later, after gaining more weight, I finally went on another date. It was going well until he said, I love your big boobs. He continued to say more inappropriate things about my body in the restaurant, which I think he thought was flattering. After dinner and drinks, he invited me back to his place, but I was so repulsed by the entire experience that I went home and bawled. I am now the biggest I've ever been, and I'm single. For a while, I was telling myself that I'd get back out there after I lost more weight. I saw most of my friends getting into relationships, getting married, or having kids while I was sitting there thinking that I'll start dating when I feel better about myself. But that's the thing. Even when I was smaller, I didn't feel better about myself. So as scary as it sometimes is, I'm choosing to put myself out there right now, exactly as I am. Well, good luck with that, and we'll see how that works out, okay? What's the definition of insanity? Keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result? The best thing she can do, honestly, is to accept reality, not what she wants it to be, but as it is. Get a trainer, get a dietitian to help her lose the weight that she has a good, healthy weight, not what she was beforehand, because she said, when she was thinner, she had guys that were interested in her, but just in hooking up. But she was still obviously overweight. But now she is obviously massively overweight. There are some guys that are attracted to that and may actually want to be in a relationship, but it's rare. And the only type of guys that end up getting into relationships with women that big are guys that are typically very overweight themselves. So my question is she going to go for those guys or feel entitled to guys that are thinner and in shape? Who knows? I'm getting back on the dating apps and posting the most recent pictures of me, knowing what these guys see is exactly what they're getting. Someone's going to swipe right on me, and they're going to get a bright, funny, confident woman who is so much more than just a body type. If that's not what they're into, then they are not right fit for me. Did you hear what she said? Did you see the delusion going on here? I know I'm being harsh, but I'm calling it for as it is, okay? I'm not going to BS anybody on this channel, okay? Again, she said, bright, funny, confident woman who is so much more than just a body type. If a woman doesn't meet the bare minimum standards for a guy's attraction, now we're all attracted to different things, but you all know what I'm getting at here. It doesn't make a difference how bright she is, how funny she is, how confident she is, how smart she is, how much money she makes, the high position in her company, all these very good qualities, doesn't matter. If we're not attracted to her physically, it's not going to work, okay? And all those other qualities are great, don't get me wrong, but you got to make the bare minimum looks, okay? And so obviously she's had so many people tell her these things, and this is the mindset she's adopted. But good luck, honey. If this is something you struggle with as well, I want to remind you that you deserve love. We all do, no matter our size. We deserve to be loved by good people who want every part of us. It's not an easy journey to be on, and truly loving every part of myself takes a whole lot of work. But I will do whatever it takes to put in that work because I'm worth it. And the right someone will see that too. So she's giving advice here to people that are in a situation like her to basically be like her. And what is that exactly? Unhappy. Okay? She wouldn't be writing this article if she was happy, okay? Because believe me, she'd have plenty of other good things to do in her life, okay? She's writing this article to get pity and have people basically give her the pity party, let her do her victim thing, and tell her it's okay. It's okay. You love yourself as is, blah, 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 and the right guy will come. I have news for you. It ain't going to happen. Or there will be a guy, but it won't be the guy that she wants, okay? Because she'll feel entitled to somebody better. Mark my word. The best thing that she can do, and anybody in a situation like this, man or woman, doesn't either way, like I said, is to take a good, hard, cold look at yourself and say, okay, I'm very much overweight, I'm very unhealthy, I'm susceptible to very negative health things, like I said, diabetes and heart disease, if I don't do something about this now. So I'm going to get a trainer, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to learn how to work out and exercise in a safe manner, I'm going to get a dietitian to help me out, get on one of those nice apps that can help you track points and food and all that shit, and get myself on the right path. And even if it takes me a year of being very disciplined to do it, I'm going to do it. Not just to attract the opposite sex, but for my own health. And believe me, I promise you, again, you're going to feel so much better that you do that. As opposed to just deluding yourself saying, oh, the right person will come along and love me for me. That is going to guarantee you a life of loneliness, not to mention an early death if you are that overweight and stay that long and develop these negative things, heart disease, diabetes, and other things like that, okay? But this is what I'm talking about, guys. This is what I've talked about so many times in different videos, the delusion that is out there. So if you're watching this, guys, I got man or woman, because I know I got women that watch me, don't listen to this crap. Do something about it. It can be done. I assure you, and you're going to feel so much better. Your life will be so much better on so many levels. I know I've been harsh, but I don't do the whole sugarcoating crap here. I'm not going to, just fill people's ideas with a bunch of nonsense, and just tell them what they want to hear. As a trainer, I'm direct with people, okay? I'm not harsh, but I'm direct and say, this is what you got to do. People listen to me or they don't listen to me. But anyway, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.